The 28th of June, Sun Star, Sunday morning, 2026. Today, I'm going to go over the matrix from the abstract teachings from the Tikamātikā. And I'm going to explain from the matrix of the abstract teaching, which is a fundamental tabulation of the opening of the Tikamātikā, one of the books from the Pali Canon. It serves as a philosophical grid to classify all phenomenon, specifically beginning with the book of the triplets, or the triplet matrix, which consists of 22 sets of 3 classification used to analyze states of consciousness. I'm going to do it in Pali language and then give the definition for it. And afterwards, I will go in depth and break it down for a little bit more understanding. At the end of this, in the description, I will also provide citations of what I'm reading from. And folks should go ahead and go and double check, triple check, and so forth. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the perfectly self-awakening One. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the perfectly self-awakening One. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the perfectly self-awakening One. Wholesome thoughts, kusala dhamma. Unwholesome thoughts, akusala dhamma. Thoughts without consequences, apayakata dhamma. Thoughts connected with pleasant feeling, sukhaya vedanaya sampayuta dhamma. Thoughts connected with painful feeling, dukkaya vedanaya sampayuta dhamma. Thoughts connected with neither painful nor pleasant feeling, adukkama sukhaya vedanaya sampayuta dhamma. Thoughts with results, vipaka dhamma. Thoughts that have results, resultive nature, vipaka dhamma. Thoughts that neither results nor have results of nature, neva vipaka dhamma. Thoughts that are attracted to and favorable to attachments, upatinupataniya dhamma. Thoughts that are not attached to but are favorable to attachments, anupatinupataniya dhamma. Thoughts that are not attached to and are not favorable to attachments, anupatinaniya dhamma. Thoughts that are defiled and connected with defilements, sankilisika dhamma. Thoughts that are not defiled but are connected with defilements, asankilisika dhamma. Thoughts that are not defiled and are not connected with defilements, asankilisika dhamma. Thoughts that are with thinking and reflection, savichara dhamma. Thoughts that are without thinking but have reflection alone, avitaka vichara mata dhamma. Thoughts that are without thinking and without reflection, avitaka vichara dhamma. Thoughts that are united with joyful interest, piti sahajagata dhamma. Thoughts that are united with pleasure, sukha sahajata dhamma. Thoughts that are united with equanimity, upekha sahagata dhamma. Thoughts that are to be given up through vision of the first path, magga, dasanena bahata dhamma. Thoughts that are to be given up through development of the rest of the paths, Bhavanaya Bahata Dhamma. thoughts that are to be given up neither through vision of the first path nor through the development of the rest of the path. Neva dasanena na bhavanaya pahata patamma. Thoughts that have roots that are to be given up through visions of the first path. Dasanena pahata pahetuka dhamma. Thoughts that have root that are to be given up through the development of the rest of the path. Pavanaya pahata pahetuka dhamma. Thoughts that have roots that are neither to be given up through visions of the first path nor the development of the rest of the path. Neva dasanena na bhavanaya pahata pahetuka dhamma. Thoughts that go towards increase. Achayakamino dhamma. Thoughts that go towards decrease. Apachayakamino dhamma. Thoughts that goes towards neither decrease or increase. Nevachayakamino na pachayakamino dhamma. Those in training. Seka dhamma. Those no longer in training. Aseka dhamma. Those neither in training nor no longer in training. Neva seka na seka dhamma. Thoughts that are limited. Parita dhamma. Thoughts that are very great. Mahakata dhamma. Thoughts that are immeasurable. Apamana dhamma. Thoughts that are limited sense objects. Parita ramana dhamma. Thoughts that are very great sense objects. Mahakata ramana dhamma. Thoughts that are immeasurable sense objects. Apamana ramana dhamma. Thoughts that are inferior. Hina dhamma. Thoughts that are middling. Majjhima dhamma. Thoughts that are excellence. Panita dhamma. Thoughts that are wrongful and have a fixed identity destiny. Michata niyata dhamma. Thoughts that are righteous and have fixed destiny. Samanani niyata dhamma. Thoughts that do not have a fixed destinies. Aniyata dhamma. Thoughts that have path as their objects. Magga ramana dhamma. Thoughts that have path as their roots. Magga hetuka dhamma. Thoughts that have path as their predominant factor. Magga atipatino dhamma. Thoughts that have arisen. Upana dhamma. Thoughts that have not arisen. Anupana dhamma. Thoughts that are arising. Upatino dhamma. Thoughts that are the past. Atita dhamma. Thoughts that are the future. Anagata dhamma. Thoughts that are present. Pachupana dhamma. Thoughts that are of past objects. Atita ramana dhamma. Thoughts that are the future objects. Anagata ramana dhamma. Thoughts that are the present objects. Pachupana ramana dhamma. Thoughts that are his own. Achata dhamma. Thoughts that are another's. Parita dhamma. Thoughts that are his own and others. Achata parita dhamma. Thoughts that are internal objects. Achata ramana dhamma. Thoughts that are external objects. Parita ramana dhamma. Thoughts that are internal and external objects. Achata parita ramana dhamma. Thoughts that are visible and have impingement. Sanita sampatisita dhamma. Thoughts that are not visible and have impingements. Anita dasana patita dhamma. Thoughts that are not visible and do not have impingements. Anita dasana patita dhamma. Tikamātikā. This is the triplet matrix. Now, we're going to go through the steps of the 22 sets of 3 classifications to analyze the states of consciousness. Now, the opening sections of the triplet matrix define the ethical and psychological framework for Buddhist philosophy. The first one is kusalatika, moral quality. It classifies states based on their ethical natures and karmic potential as either wholesome, unwholesome, and indeterminate. The wholesome part, kusala, is karmically pure, healthy, and faultless states. The unwholesome states is defiled, harmful, and unhealthy states. And then the indeterminate is karmically neutral states, results of past karma, matter, or nipita. In this instance, karma is a state of action. The second one is Tikamātikā. This analyzes the affective tone of mental experiences. So associated with pleasant feelings, Sukhaya Vedana Sampayuta, accompanied by joy or physical comfort. Associated with unpleasant feeling, Dukkhaya Vedana Sampayuta, accompanied by mental grief or physical pain. Associated with neutral feelings, Adukha Masukhaya Vedanaya Sampayuta. This is equanimity, neither pleasant nor painful. The karmic results, Vipaka. This distinguishes between a causal relationship, its consequences, and the state that falls outside its process. Vipaka, resultants. These are states that are passive maturations of past wholesome or unwholesome intentions. The reproductive results are vipaka dhamma. These are the active intentions that create new future karma, future actions. Then we got neva vipaka dhamma. Neither results nor productive. This is inoperative actions of enlightened beings of matter. The fourth is clinging and defilements, Tikamātikā. This examines the relationship to worldly attachments. Anupatinaya, clung to and favorable to cling. Physical body parts generated by past karma. Not to cling to, but favorable to clinging. Upatinaya, all ordinary mundane consciousness states not tied to immediate bodily generation, but still prone to attachment. Clung to or unfavorable to cling. Anupatinaya. These are the supramundane or the subjective conscious paths, fruits, and nipita. The fifth is mental defilements, Tikamātikā. This analyzes vulnerability to cognitive corruption. Sankilesika, defiled with subject to defilements. These are unwholesome states and active mental impurities. Undefiled by subject to defilements, asankilesika. These are conscious, mundane, wholesome and neutral states, pure but can trigger future impurities. Undefiled and exempt from defilements, asankilesika. This is transcendental paths, or also a subjective path. Nipita. 6 is Vitakātikā. These are thoughts directing. This evaluates the presence of gross and subtle thought placement. With the initial sustained thought, sa vitaka, sa vichara, ordinary thinking containing initial action focus. That's what is vitaka. Sustained examination is vichara. Without initial but sustained thought, avitaka vichara mata. This is concentration states where thought striking ceases, but mental holding remains. This is also classified as the second jhana, second meditative absorption. Without initial and sustained thought, vitakā vichara. This is high concentration planes. This is also classified as the third jhana or above of physical matter and nipita. The seventh is meditative zest, Tikamātikā. This sorts experiences by psychological refreshment. Piti sahakata, accompanied by zest, states that are saturated with joy and mental rapture. Sukha sahakata, accompanied by happiness, states of pure peace, contentment, or physical bliss without active excitement. Upekkha sahakata, accompanied by equanimity, states of profound neutral peace. The eighth is Tikamātikā. This is path of vision. This examines the stage of insight that eliminates delusions. Dasanena pahata pa, abandoned by vision, delusions and micchātiti, wrong views, abandoned by the first stage of enlightenment of a sotapatan or sotapana. Abandoned by cultivation, pavanaya pahata pa. These are deeper defilements like greed, anger, removed through advanced concentration, pavana. Neva dasanena na pavanaya pahata pa. Not to abandon by vision or cultivation. These are wholesome, resultants, or enlightened states that require no abandonment. The ninth is root of vision. Dasana hetukātikā. This lays out how defilements are rooted relative to the path of vision. Dasanena pahata pahetukā. With roots abandoned by vision, these are states arising from the origin roots like dogmatic views, destroyed by the first glimpse of nipita. Bhavanaya pahata pahetukā. These are roots abandoned by cultivation, states driven by lingering roots of lust or irritation, worn down by practice. Neva dasanena pavanaya pahata pahetukā. These are roots are not abandoned by neither. These are states possessing pure roots or no unwholesome roots origin. The 10th is Tikamātikā, accumulation of karma. Tracks the buildup of dismantling of rebirth potentials. Atayagami, leading to accumulation. These are conscious moral or immoral states that lead to continued cycles of rebirth, samsara vata. Apatayagami, leading to dispersal. Superconscious or subjective conscious path states that systematically dismantles and shed karmic accumulation. Neva pachayagami na pachayagami, leading to neither. Result states mechanical actions, matter, and nipita. Sekatika, the stages of training. This classifies the spiritual maturity of individuals. A seka is of one in training, noble disciples, dakinaya pukala, who have experienced enlightenment but still working towards full liberation, vimutti or vimok. One of beyond training, aseka. These are fully liberated arahantas or arihats who have completed the training. Neva seka na seka. These are neither. ordinary worldlings who have not entered the stream alongside physical matter and nipita. Tikamātikā, this is the multitude. This scales the states by their cosmic scope and magnitude. Parita, limited, sensory realm states encompassing basic day-to-day human and animal experiences. Then we got Mahakata, sublime. These are vast, expanded, and elevated consciousness belonging to the fine material and immaterial meditative spheres, concentration. Apamana, immeasurable, supramundane paths, or subjective consciousness, fruits, nipita, which transcends all dimensional constraints. 13 is Tikamātikā. These are focus objects. It looks to the magnitude of the mind is focusing on. Tikamātikā, having limited objects, mind focusing on the conscious, mundane, sensory sphere of things. Mahakata, having sublime objects, mind focusing on high meditative attainments. Apamana, having immeasurable objects, mind focusing on nipita and the deathless element. Tika, this is the excellent quality. Hina, inferior, gross, low grade, unwholesome states. Majjhima, medium, ordinary, mundane, wholesome or neutral states. Panita, superior, exceptional, high grade, meditative or subjective supramundane states. Subjective consciousness. Certainty of outcome, Tikamātikā, identifies destiny in alignment with pathways. Niyata, wrongness with fixed consequences. Grave misdeeds that guaranteed immediate rebirth in painful states. Malice, severe betrayal. Niyata, righteousness with fixed consequences. These are paths of the noble disciples that guaranteed full enlightenment. Aniyata, unfixed destiny. All other states are flat, a definitive fixed trajectory. Tika, the path as objects. This traces connections to the Noble Eightfold Path. Having the path as objects, these are mental states focused directly on concentration upon the Eighth Noble Path. Hetuka, having the path as cause. These are states generated directly by the path factors, acting as its roots. Adipati, having the path as the dominant master. These are mind states where the path acts as the supreme driving priority over experiences. 17, Upanatika, time of arising. These are all sorts of phenomenon by temporal experience. Upana, arisen, things actively occurring or existing in the immediate present moment. Anupana, not arisen, future things that have not yet occurred but possesses conditions to arise. Upati, bound to arise. This is imminent, events guaranteed to occur next. 18, Tika, temporal reality. This expands the temporal analysis into three distinct historical fields. First, the past, Atika. These are states that have ceased and are gone. Next is the future, Anagata. These are states that have not yet come into existence or being, or fruition. And third, the present, Pachupana. These are states currently undergoing their brief phase of existence. 19 is temporal focus. Tikamātikā. This analyzes the time zone and the mind is currently referencing to. Atiramana, having past objects, memories or reviews of what has already occurred. Anakataramana, having future objects, anticipations or predictions of what will occur. Pachupanaramana, having present objects, direct real-time awareness of immediate events. 20 is internal location. Tikamātikā. These are maps whether realities exist within oneself or outside. Tikamātikā, internal. These are mental and physical processes occurring within one's own stream of life. External. Bahina, processes occurring within other living beings or inanimate environments. Internal and external. Tikamātikā. These are mixed categories observed by systematically across boundaries. The 21st is spatial forces. Tikamātikā. This evaluates the internal and external focuses on awareness. Tikamātikā. Having internal objects, self-reflective contemplation of one's own mind and body. Bahintā, having external objects, observing others, people of outside stimuli. Tikamātikā, having internal and external objects, alternating seamlessly between internal and external focuses during insight concentration. And finally, the 22nd, Sanitasanatikā, visibility and resistance. This details physical and spatial attributes of reality. Sanitasana sapatitika, physical and reactive. Things seen by the eye that are physically obstruct or react, like visible forms and colors, etc. Invisible or reactive. Anitasana sapatitika. Things unseen but physically reactive, like sounds, smell, tastes, touches, and physical sense organs themselves. And invisible and unreactive. Anitasana sapatitika. Things unseen and entirely free from physical touch. These are all mental states, consciousness types, and nipita. Now that was the matrix from the abstract teaching. It goes in a whole group. So we have, that's just the triplets. We also have the pairs, and then and so forth. But I'm going to leave off there today. As I said earlier, briefly, I will cite or reference where what I'm reading from. So folks could go ahead and double check for themselves.